JoanneTerry, and in 170 days, I am going to tell anti-abortion, right-wing extremist, insurrectionist Bill Posey, you're fired. I joined this race last November because Bill Posey has really just gone too far. He is representing only the extreme far right of his party, and he is leaving our district in disrepair. And he is participating in and encouraging the angry, hate-filled, disrespectful behavior that we are seeing in our school board meetings and in our neighborhoods. And normalizing that hate and anger that's resulting in the rise in hate crimes across this country. As our elected representative, I will always denounce hate, hate-inspired behavior, and hate-inspired violence every time I see it, as soon as I see it. And I am especially concerned with how our governor and the GOP-led legislature of this state is attacking our public schools and education here in Florida. I was raised by a single mother from the age of 10 after my father died, and we lived in a small apartment in suburban Los Angeles County. And I was very lucky. I was very lucky because my mom, she stressed the importance of education. She did not want me to be financially dependent on anybody. So in my junior year, my mom was a secretary at Lockheed, and in my junior year, when I wanted to take shorthand with all of my friends, my mom said, no. Why don't you take something more interesting? Why don't you take physics? And yeah, my grades got really interesting that year, but that was the year that I decided to become an engineer. And when I turned 18, I registered as a Democrat because I knew the importance of my mom having a living wage to support us. And we depended on rent control to keep that small apartment while property values were going up around us. And I depended on public education and affordable college to become that economically independent adult that she wanted me to be. In fact, my first year out of college, I made more money than my mom made after 20 years as a secretary. So I know that investing in our people pays off. And I know the importance, thank you. And I know the importance of quality, accessible education to lift people out of poverty, to provide the opportunity to be anything you want to be, but most importantly, to make sure that we have an educated society that can govern itself in a functioning democracy. So I am extremely concerned about how our governor and the GOP-led legislature is infiltrating our school boards and attacking public schools. You know, I took a lot of math studying to become an engineer. And I know how ridiculous it is to think that math teaches CRT. But you know what math does teach? Math teaches you how to think rationally. And that's a real problem for the GOP right now, because voting for the GOP right now is not rational. So of course they're going to attack math. Just like the Taliban banned chess in Afghanistan. If you keep the people uneducated, they can be more easily led. So let's be clear. Attacking our communities of color and our LGBTQ community is an attack on democracy itself. And their tactics are sneaky and dishonest. You know, we have laws in this country that protect our money from con artists. If someone lies to you to steal your money, they can be arrested and prosecuted for fraud. But when the GOP lies to people to steal their vote, it's protected by the First Amendment. If our democracy is to survive, we cannot value our money more than we value our vote. environment and our people. We all know the Indian River Lagoon is in a lot of trouble. And have you seen all of the new apartment buildings and the housing developments out by 95? You know, those one-bedroom apartments are going for more than $1,500. Our rents have skyrocketed, and our residents are getting priced out of their homes. But only during election years will our GOP leadership pretend to care if they think we're going to notice at the ballot box, which is another reason that we must protect our right to vote and not have that vote messed with by partisan legislatures. The GOP is taking away our rights. They're taking away our individual liberty, even over our own bodies, and they're attacking the very foundations of our democracy. We must put a stop to this now, or we might not have a free and fair election in 2024. So just about 2 years ago, I started working on the Jim Kennedy campaign. He ran against Posey in 2020. And I was so sure we were going to do better that year. So many people didn't like Trump. Everything was polarized. But even with record turnout, this DEC got 81% of our Democrats to the polls. And we were within 1% of the same results as 2018. So for the past 2 years, I've been trying to figure out how to win in this district. I volunteered for our local League of Women Voters. I studied our issues. I talked to our people. I studied our numbers. And I studied what other Democrats did to win in red districts. So Democrats, if we follow the data like Democrats do, the data clearly shows that we cannot win in this district with our base alone. In fact, our base has shrunk since the 2020 election. So we must expand our base if we are to win here. And the only way that we can do that in a district like ours is to reimagine what our base looks like. Not by the letters on your voter registration card, but by the single most important value that we all have in common here in this district: saving our country from the radical right wing of the GOP. This isn't compromising any of our values. This is coming together at this moment, at this time, to defeat a clear and present danger to our country, the radical right wing of the GOP. So this year, I am going to expand our base by representing all of the people who are tired of the extremes, who are exhausted by the anger, and who want progress made on our district, and who believe that this current GOP is a threat to our country. And this is how, expanding our base, this is how our Democrats got elected in municipal elections and school board races that are nonpartisan, that didn't have the letters behind their names. Because when we don't have the letters behind our names and we talk about what we're going to do, we win. And when I do that, we can finally start making progress on the issues that matter to all of us. And we can finally get our government working again, because we have an opportunity in a district as red as ours. When we flip this district, we are going to send a shockwave across the entire country. And that shockwave is going to say that the majority of the people in this country do not want hate. I know we can do it. I know we can expand our base, and I'm going to be working very hard for the next 170 days to do exactly that. My name is JoanneTerry. I will be your next representative, and thank you very much for being here tonight.